guys! In today's video I am showing you a bunch of different bunnies that I made. So I tested out a bunch of different bunny patterns and I wanted to see which one would be my favorite and which one would be the cutest. So I'm also going to have you guys vote at the end which one you guys think is the cutest. But I'm going to go through and show you all of the bunnies and tell you about how long they took me to make, and if they're no-sew or if you have to do a lot of sewing, and just let you know all about the pattern. And most of them are actually free patterns. I think maybe 2 of them were paid patterns. And you'll want to stay tuned to the end of the video because I am going to show you my latest pattern that I have written that I'm working on typing up right now, and it will be my next tester call that I will be having soon. So I'll show you guys that and tell you more about it at the end of the video, but I'll go ahead and start showing you the bunnies. So I'm going to start with the smallest bunnies and work my way up to the biggest ones. So the smallest bunny that I have is a pattern that I've had I think for a few years, and I actually did do a pattern test for this one. So this one is from Honey Crochets on Ribbler, and it is this bunny bean, and he's just so cute. And I love these ones because I can make them really quick, and it's great for market prep. I always have these for spring at my markets, and I did make some and put them in the store where I have my crochet as well, and I did already sell 2 of them. So these are definitely a hit, and they are actually the cheapest items that I do sell, just because they're so little and I can make them so quickly. So on this one I did embroider the eyes, and I was gonna do a nose, but I can't really tell if it looks like a nose or a mouth, but I think it's cute either way. So that's the first one. I've definitely made a ton of these over the years, and I've already made, I want to say, like 6 to 8 of them just this year. But I like to make them in a lot of different pink colors. So I definitely recommend this pattern. The only thing that I do differently from the original is that if you work it the way that the pattern says, the ears are on the front of the head, and I like them on the back of the head. So I just alter it a little bit to make the ears be on the back instead of the front. But I do believe this is a free pattern, which is great. And this is one that I will definitely be continuing to use. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, but all these patterns will be linked in the description, so you can just check out the description, and they're all going to be there in the order that I talked about them. And some of them will have a link like for a YouTube tutorial as well if it has that. The next one, which is a little bit bigger than the previous one, but they're honestly a very similar size. This is a Keychain Peep. And this one is a pattern that I found on Instagram, and it is a free pattern. And so I have already made a few of these. So here I have a blue one and then a variegated one. And I think these are really cute. To me, with blanket yarn, they're a little big to be a keychain. I feel like you could still make them one, but they're a little big. But if you made it like with chenille yarn or maybe acrylic yarn, it would definitely be the size for a keychain. But for these, I'm just having them just as mini plushies and not as a keychain. But I do think they're super cute. I make Peeps every year, and I've been making really big ones, which I'll show you those later. But I thought that I would try out these and that these might be good for a lower price point Peep. So I forgot to mention the bunny bean only takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to make, which I think is really quick. Now everyone of course crochets at different speeds, so it might not be exactly the same, but you can kind of compare it to my other times for my other items to see how quickly it can be made. For the small Peep, I want to say it took maybe 20 to 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes to make it. But I can't remember exactly. It wasn't much longer than the bunny bean, but also I only made this one a couple times, and the bunny bean I've made a bunch of times, so I am a little bit quicker at that one just because I almost have it memorized just because I've made it so much. The next bunny is a pattern that I found on Pinterest, and this one is on a blog. So on the website, it is free. I think there's a YouTube tutorial as well, and then if you want to purchase the PDF, you can. So this one is by Stitches by Faye, and this is called the No Sew Bunny, and here it is. I think it's cute. I don't know that it's my favorite one, but I do think it's cute, and it's definitely a unique bunny. And here's this little bobble tail in the back, and I think it's cute how the ears are on the front on this one. So I kind of like this one, but I'm not totally sure. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna see how quickly this one sells, and maybe I will make more if it sells pretty well. But I do think it is definitely a unique bunny. And I believe this one only took me about 35 minutes, so only a little bit longer than the mini Peep. And the good thing about this one is that you don't have to sew the ears on or anything. It is completely no sew, which is great, which I forgot to mention, the first two were no sew as well. The Peep, you do kind of have to sew in between the ears a little bit, but they are all no sew so far. I have a pattern for medium and large Peeps. Those are the only two bunnies that I do not have one with me today for the video, so I will put a picture up. So the medium Peep takes about 35 to 45 minutes, and that one I found on Instagram last year, so hopefully I will be able to find the link for that one. And then the large Peep, I believe, was on a blog as well as a YouTube tutorial. And that one I want to say takes about an hour or maybe an hour and 15. And pretty much all the Peep ones are worked up the same way. You start with the ears and they are no sew. You just have to kind of close the gap in the middle. So I do definitely like all of these Peep patterns, and I just kind of wanted to try out the different sizes. Oh, and then I forgot, I do have actually a fourth Peep pattern, but this one is a little bit different. So I am kind of going a little bit out of order. I was planning on going in order of smallest to biggest, but I decided to kind of do all the Peeps together, and then I will go back to the rest of them. So this is the large Peep, and I'm going to put the pattern as extra large Peep since I already have a large one, just so that you guys can find it, but technically the name of it is large Peep. And this was a pattern that I found on Ribbler, I think maybe 2 years ago. And I started it way back then, and I put it in my whip pile and did not go back to it for a long time. So I finally decided to finish it up for this Easter. This one is worked up a lot differently than the other ones. So this one is worked in 2 flat panels. So you pretty much are crocheting back and forth the front, then you do the same thing for the back, and then you sew the 2 pieces together. So this one, I do think it's cute, but it is definitely not my favorite because I don't love sewing. But if you like sewing, then you might really like this one. Sewing just is not my thing, but I did go ahead and finish it. The only thing is the eyes. I have been trying to decide if I'm going to embroider eyes on it or make felt eyes, and I'm thinking I'm just going to make some circle, just like plain black circle felt eyes, because if you look at Peeps, they just have like little black eyes, so I think that's what I'm going to do for it. So this is the only one that is not fully finished for this video, but I thought that I would still go ahead and show it to you guys. My Cricut has been messing up, so I do want to make felt eyes for it, but I didn't want to deal with the hassle of that right now, so I'll get around to it hopefully next week. But now we will go back to some of the smaller bunnies. So the next one that I have, this pattern is actually for a chocolate bunny, but I didn't have any brown that looked like a chocolate color, so I went ahead and just made mine in pink. And this is a free pattern that I found on Instagram, and this one only took me about 35 minutes to make, so it was super quick. I do think it is really cute. Here it is up close. Got a bobble tail, and now this one is worked a little bit differently. You make the ears separately first, and then you crochet them on. I was a little bit confused when I was crocheting them on, but I had zoomed in on the pattern, and had I zoomed out, I would have seen that there were instructions for how to attach the ears, but I kind of just winged it, and I think it still turned out pretty cute. And then I just embroidered a pink nose on it. And the only other thing that I changed is that the feet were supposed to be a little bit closer together, but I just kind of wanted to spread them out a little. So That is the chocolate bunny, which again, you could make it in brown and make it look like a chocolate bunny, or you could make it whatever color like this one and just make it a regular bunny. Next, we have another one. It is a little bigger than the last, and this one I found on Pinterest. It is, I believe it's on a blog, and I watched a YouTube tutorial for it. I actually really liked the YouTube tutorial. It was really in-depth, and so I do recommend that if you want to make this one. So this is the Jelly Bean Bunny, and he's got floppy ears, which I think is cute. I kind of wish they would kind of like stay where you want them, but it's kind of cute that they flop around. I think this one's cute, but I feel like the head is a little big, and maybe I didn't need as many rounds in the head as it calls for. But here it is. And this one has the cottontail. So there's a white tail, and then I did a white nose. Now this one, I was struggling on doing the nose. I still don't really love how it turned out, but I was trying to do a bigger nose first and I hated it, and so I redid it, and so he's got a little white nose. I still don't love it, but I don't know. So this one is technically no-sew as well. You make the ears first, and then you put the strings from the ears through and tie it on the inside. I did that, but it still didn't seem quite secure enough, so I sewed over it as well. So I would say this one does kind of take a little bit of sewing, but not too much. The rest is all no-sew. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? I think it's kind of cute, but not my favorite. I think I forgot to mention how long this one took. This one took me about 35 to 40 minutes to make. I did forget I included one more bunny that I don't have with me. I made multiple of these last year, so I will put up a picture of it. And this is a pattern that is on Ribbler. I did a pattern test for this one last year, so I'm not sure if it's free or not. On Ribbler, whenever I have the pattern, I don't think I can see how much it costs or if it's free or not, because I already have it like in my patterns. But anyways, I did do a pattern test for this one. This one I believe takes about 30 to 40 minutes, and I do really like this one. Like I said, I made multiple of them last year, and I did sell a few of them, so I definitely do recommend this one as well. What's Emily? Oh, this one. And now we will move on to some even bigger ones. So this is another one that I found on Instagram, and it is a free pattern. This one is called Emily the Bunny. So this pattern is a pattern pack with a bunny and a bear. And here she is. So I kind of wish that I would have put some bigger safety eyes in instead of doing embroidering the eyes, but I think it still turned out okay. It's just not my favorite. But this one, you do have to sew the ears on. So the body is made in one piece, and then you just have the two ears to sew on. So there's a little bit of sewing, but not so much that I really minded it. So here she is, and I did embroider a pink nose, but honestly it's kind of hard to see it because it's like right on the pink. So I don't know, I might change her nose later and make it show up a little bit better, but this is her, and she's got her 4 feet, and then she's got a bobble tail in the back. So I do think this one is cute. I just think with different eyes it would be cuter. And then the pattern also has a scarf you can make for them too. So the scarf just kind of goes around here. And so I think that that would make it even cuter too. But since I'm doing these for spring, I didn't really want to make a scarf for it. And this one I would say took around 45 minutes for me to make. The next bunny, I have actually made 4 of these. And this was another pattern test that I've done. If you've seen some of my recent videos, you have probably heard me talk about this one, and this is Aura the Bunny. And so this was a pattern test I did for Sweet Beans Crochet, and I absolutely love this pattern. So like I said, I've already made 4 of them, and I think it was like January whenever I tested the pattern. So I have been making a lot of them, but I think that these will do really good for springtime and Easter. So I made this blue one, and then I also made a pink one. So for these ones, I used Premier Basic Chenille yarn, and I think that they turned out really cute, and I embroidered the eyes on them. And then I have one more that I made, and this is a burlap blanket one, and this one I think would be super cute for a baby. It's just really pastel colors. So I definitely love this pattern. It does take a little bit longer than some because there are so many pieces, but the amazing thing is that it is no-sew. So all of the pieces are made separately, and then you crochet all of them together. So there are some ends to weave in just because there are so many pieces, but there's like no sewing at all, which is amazing. I really love that, and I just think that these are so cute. And at my last market, I had my first one that I made, and it was a light pink one, and it sold like almost immediately. It was one of the first things that sold, and they did not even look at the price. They just said, get that one, it's the cutest one, and they were willing to pay whatever the price tag said, which was amazing. So I am excited for these to be at my next spring market as well. So the first one that I made did take a little bit longer, but it was probably because I was testing the pattern and trying to make sure there weren't any typos or anything. So that one took me about 2 hours. And then after that, I would say they take maybe an hour and a half. Now that I kind of know the pattern, it takes me about an hour and a half to make one, which I think is really good for this size plushie and to have all of these limbs and ears. So anyways, I love this pattern, and I definitely do recommend it. This one is a paid pattern. I believe it is on Etsy, but I will have it linked with all the rest. We have 2 more bunnies to go, and then I do have a few to tell you guys about that I personally have not tried, but some of my followers recommended, so I will have some honorable mention type of ones at the end. So this bunny, I thought it would be super cute, and I loved how the pattern looked. And then once I made it, I don't love it that much, but really I think it's mostly the face. I embroidered the eyes, and I think if I used safety eyes, it would have been way better. But this one is a paid pattern that I found on Etsy, and it's in a pattern pack of 5 no-sew animals, and I definitely want to try out the other ones as well. But I had just bought the pattern because it was on sale, and I had favorited it on Etsy. So once I decided that I wanted to make a video trying out all the bunny patterns, I remembered that I had that one, and so it's the first one that I've tried from the pack. If you guys want to see me try the other ones out, let me know in the comments, and I could do a video trying out the other animals in the pack as well. This one took me, I would say, about an hour and 15 to an hour and 30 minutes, and it is bigger than the other ones. And here it is. I think it's still okay, but I just don't love the face on it. And in the picture, they embroider the nose differently, and I tried it like that first. It looked so cute on theirs, but when I did it on mine, I just didn't like it. So I don't know. I don't know what it was about the face of this one, but I'm definitely going to try out the other patterns in the pack as well. This one I do really like, though. It is unique in that it has full front legs, but you don't have to sew them, which I love. The back legs are baubles, and it has a bauble tail as well. But the crazy thing is, this is completely no sew, which is amazing. I mean, with all these legs, you know, and the head and the body and the ears, none of that having to sew on is amazing. So I definitely love that part of it, that it is no sew. I just wish that the face would have turned out a little bit cuter, but I don't know, maybe I'm just being harsh on it. I don't know. Let me know if you guys like it or not. And then the last bunny pattern that I have to talk about is my bunny pattern. So this is my Valentine's bunny. This is definitely the biggest out of the bunch. And this one is a no-sew pattern, which I love. I just really wanted to make a big pattern that was no-sew, and honestly the only thing you have to sew on is the heart, and that is it. So this one is a paid pattern that I have on my Etsy as well as Ribbler, and although this is a Valentine's themed one, all you have to change really if you want it to not be Valentine's is just using different eyes, and you can exclude the heart if you want, but honestly I think that the heart would still work for spring bunnies as well. So I do have a few patterns that some of my followers recommended to me, and I will put pictures up of them on the screen. If you want me to do a second version of this video trying out more bunnies, I can, just let me know. And so I'll put up some of these recommendations. Before you go, don't forget I'm going to show you my new pattern, but before that I want you guys to go into the comments and tell me which bunny was your favorite. So I will go through them really quickly and show you all of them again so you can see them, and then I want you to comment below which one is your favorite, and I'm going to have everyone vote here on YouTube, and I'll probably put a poll in my Instagram stories as well, so you can vote there too if you want. So we'll start with the little ones. We've got the Bunny Bean, then the Mini Peep, then the No-Sew Bunny, then we've got the medium Peep and the large Peep. Then we have the extra large Peep. Next we have the chocolate bunny. Then we have the jelly bean bunny. Then Amelia the bunny. Then we have Aura the bunny. Then we have the pattern pack with the no-sew bunny. And then lastly we have my Valentine's bunny. So let me know in the comments which one you think is the cutest and which one you want to try out next. And if you have a favorite bunny pattern that I didn't show here, comment it below and I will definitely check that one out too. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my next pattern that I have written that I am in the process of typing up right now, and hopefully soon I will have a tester call for it. So this is my anglerfish, and I think he is super cute. I wanted to make an anglerfish that was still pretty small, and I was hoping for a no-sew anglerfish, so I'll show you him up close. So the cool thing about this is I got it to where it is pretty much no-sew. The only part that you really have to sew is a little bit in the corner right here on the sides of the mouth. You just kind of have to sew a little gap closed, and that is pretty much it. Everything else is surface crocheted on it, which in the pattern, part of the reason it's taking me a little longer to get the pattern ready is that I want to have some videos for the surface crochet, just because it'll help make it a little bit easier, especially if someone gets the pattern and they haven't surface crocheted before. Then if there's a video, I feel like that would be really helpful for them. So I am typing up the pattern, and then I'm going to crochet a second one and get a video of that. I do think this is probably going to be a paid pattern, probably not too much though because it is a smaller pattern. But keep an eye out for the tester call. It will be on Instagram, and I might post about it on YouTube as well, but if you want to make sure to see it, I'm definitely going to be posting it on Instagram. So that is my anglerfish. The only thing I wish about it is that this would stand up a little bit more. Sometimes it seems to stand up and sometimes it kind of just falls. But I think he is really cute and I just love him. So, but anyways, that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a like so that YouTube will show it to more people. Thanks for watching.